If you aren't growing, you're dying. The market has changed, so how are you changing to develop some new skills? What I want to do today is I'm going to give you the 7 success skills that I see that will help your business continue to grow in this changing market. We've had an incredible few years in the real estate business where a lot of times pretenders could hide because there was so much business out there. That's changing now. What we need is we need true professionals that are developing skills in a way that helps them service clients in a professional way, that helps them to continue to grow their business despite maybe some headwinds with fewer transactions. So what I really want to do today is I want to dive into some of the success skills that I see right now, that by developing these skills, they're going to give you the ability to continue to grow when everybody else might be fading. The first skill is the ability to identify trends and patterns early before anyone else does. You know, some of the things that happens is it would be naive for us to not realize that things are constantly changing. What's changing in the market? And the person who identifies and has the ability to understand how to identify those trends and sees the numbers before everybody else does, begins to communicate that in a way that adds value to people, those are going to be the people that are going to win in this business environment. So what I want to do is really break this down. How do you identify some of those things? And then what do you do with those things once you've identified them? So the first thing is to understand which season we're in and take the appropriate actions during the appropriate season so that you're ready to take full advantage of what the opportunities are in that season and the season to come. The second thing is make sure you're surrounding yourself or you're studying some of the people that may have been through a change in the market before. It's been almost 14 years since we've had a change in a market. Really, it's been something like that. So the majority of the people that are around you possibly have never been through an adverse market. Who are the people you know that went through in this real estate business 2004 to 2009 time frame? What did they do back then? Study what they did. Spend some time with those folks. Maybe there's a person in your office that is a successful agent that you can ask if you could take them to coffee or just ask them a few questions about what they did back then to make sure that you're prepared. Not that we're going to have such a downturn as we had then, but if you prepare for it like that and you take these same activities that the people that have some wisdom, that have been through some things before, that understand what needs to be done, if you act on those things, all of a sudden you're now in a better position than really probably 90% of the agents because you've gained the wisdom by asking the people that have actually experienced it, not the people that are just speaking from a place of theory. The third thing to do is to find those early adapters and spend as much time studying what they're doing as possible. For me, I've been through a couple of downturns. What I've done is I know a group of people that actually I reach out to pretty much on a daily basis right now, understanding that they've been through this before. What are you doing right now? What are the things that you see as far as patterns that maybe we saw before that we can begin to shape and change some of the things we're doing? What are the things you're doing in your business and what are you telling agents to do? Those early adapters, those people that have been through something but they're now making changes faster than everybody else, if you'll model some of those changes to those early adapters, all of a sudden now you're going to get a leg up on everyone. And in times like this, when people are slow to make change because they deny that a change is happening, they don't want it to happen, so they just sit back and they just wait. Those folks that are waiting, if you make a change now, if you surround yourself with those early adapters and take action, they'll never be able to catch you again. Your business is going to begin to grow in a way that although they may make a change later, you're going to be so far ahead of them that they can't catch up with you. The second main skill to develop that will help you in this market environment is the ability to clearly communicate market data in a way that people can understand exactly what's going on. I'll give you an example of this. In our market, we sat down with agents this past week and we just wanted to look at a few main points that they could communicate out to their buyers and sellers, and so that they could understand exactly what's happening in the market. So what we did is we pulled up how many pending contracts did we have back at the first of the year. For us, it was February 28th. Then we looked at, okay, when we shot this was around July. What was this time frame in July? How many pending contracts do we have now versus February 28th? We have a 39% at this time decrease in the number of contracts that were currently under contract now versus February 28th. So we're seeing a slowdown in the market. Easily to communicate that to people. Also, how many houses were selling in February? This little small market we were looking at was about 112 houses. How many do we have now in July? Now we're looking at over 400 homes, a 256% increase in the number of homes for sale. Very easy to then have the ability to clearly communicate this to sellers. We also saw that for this part of the year, basically from January 1st to this time frame versus the same time frame last year, we've got a 28% increase in prices. So prices have continued to go up on the average price point, but we're beginning to see a level off of that. So here's how easy this is to communicate. I'm going to use a seller, for example. Someone that you're talking to and they say, how's the market? Well, let me give you a snapshot and then I'd love to get your input. Right now, what we looked at was in February 28th of this year, which seemed like it was basically the peak of our activity level. From that point until now, we have 39% less pending contracts as of July 15th versus February 28th. So we have less contracts that are going, places that are going under contract. Also in the same time frame, we had 112 houses that were for sale on February 28th. Then we look at July 15th and we were looking at somewhere in the range of about 425 homes that were for sale. A 256% increase in homes that were for sale. So let me ask you this, Mr. Seller. If we've got a 39% decrease in the number of homes for sale, we've also got a market that has been up 28% as far as the average sales price in the last year. And we also have 246% more of the homes that are currently for sale than we did in February. Simple economics tell us that prices are going to flatten or potentially pull back as there's increased competition for less deals. Does this make sense to you? Now we've done something. And then I love to do this. I'm just curious though. You're pretty astute. What do you think the market's doing right now? This does two things. It gives you the ability to clearly communicate the data to them, but let and see where they are. Are they still in denial and say, well, I just think our house is different. It's still worth more than anybody else's house. Or, hey, I just think that, maybe this is, I don't know what those numbers really mean, but my house is still going up. See, now you got something where you're talking to someone that is really operating from emotion and not from facts. We want to operate with people that we can actually do business with that will understand and take the data we give them and apply it in the correct way. Our job is to educate homeowners as well as home buyers on what's going on in the current market so they can make the best decision for themselves. By being able to develop the skill of clearly communicating exactly what's happening in the market, you're going to set yourself apart from all the other agents. Third skill to develop in this market environment is the ability to generate marketing that generates momentum for your business. Now, there's a couple of different ways we're going to do this, okay? The first one is, let's get back to the foundations of this business. The foundation of this business is that the person who owns the inventory or who has the listings is the person who controls the market. You have to get back focused. It was too easy having buyers because you were really taking orders. You were competing with a number of things, but you were just basically just taking orders. Handling listings is the name of this game, and that's this business. I've always said, if you're working predominantly with buyers, you're a real estate salesperson. If you're working predominantly with listings or on the home seller side, you're running a real estate business. Let's get to running a real estate business for you, and that means focusing on listings. Now, a couple skills you need to develop on this is that you need to have the understanding of how to market a home properly. I love for agents to sit down, and what we do is we talk about I used to call it my listing launch formula. It was tried and true over 20 years of experience where I had certain things that I would do at certain times in the first 3 weeks to generate all the activity we needed to get the home sold. So I would have this laid out when I would sit in a listing presentation. It was my checklist, and I would say, hey, listen, once we go under contract, this is the day that we go on the market. These are the activities we do on social media, on mailers, on emails, on marketing, on open houses, on letting agents know. We're creating momentum for your home in a way that's going to have as many people come through as possible so that we can get the highest price possible in the least amount of time. I had a plan of action. Develop your plan of action now. Be able to generate some of the marketing that generates momentum for the seller. So that's one side of it. The other thing is we want to generate momentum on a couple of other areas as well. We want to generate some momentum on our relationships. So you have to have some marketing that begins to do that. Right now, having your story filled up with documenting your day as you're in real estate, talking about what you do as a family, being a little more personal, utilizing the now marketing, which is social media, to develop relationships. Every time you post a little more about yourself, you're refining who you are as far as who that ideal client might see. And every time someone sees that, they are either drawn towards you, who is your ideal client, or they're drawn away from you, and it's repelling those people that you don't need to do business with either way also. Generate some momentum through your marketing for those relationships. Last but not least, generate some momentum on building more agent relationships. Agent relationships really are critical. We're coming to a place in this business where we need each other now more than ever. You need to have a group of agents that you can call if you have a buyer and say, hey, do you have anything coming on the market that might fit for this buyer? I can't find anything. Hey, I've got this listing coming to the market. My sellers really need to sell quick. I wanted to let you know in case you've got a buyer because I love working with you. Who are the agents that you know of that you could build relationships with, that you could help each other, that you could feed each other in a way that helps your clients, helps you serve your clients better and gives you smoother transactions? Build some relationships. Build some momentum with agents in a way that you're beginning to do more and more business with certain groups of agents. You want to have it open to everybody, but you want to have a core group of agents, whether it be in your office, on your team, or out in the open market that you trust, that when you do a deal with them, things are going to go smooth. The fourth skill to develop that's really going to help you right now is the ability to create rapport with someone you meet very quickly. There's a great book called How to Make Anyone Like You in 90 Seconds or Less. This is a great book. It's literally like an 80-page book. I had the opportunity actually to meet the author of that at a conference one time, and just understanding exactly what it takes. Little small steps of being able to build rapport. Right now, as you're sitting in open houses, as you're on the phone with new people, as you're adding to your database, really, your ability to be able to connect with people and to build rapport quicker gives you the ability to build relationships quicker. I make snap decisions. You probably do too. Right when I meet somebody, typically within 90 seconds, I can either do business with this person or I can't. And if I have somebody that has the ability to build rapport with me very quickly, odds are I'm going to go on that second date, so to speak, of that relationship, and I'm going to find out, do I like them? Can I trust them? And am I going to do business with them in the future? Make sure you're out there sharpening your skill relationally to a point where you can build rapport faster and your business is going to grow faster. Number 5 is developing the skill of systematic follow-up. Do you have systems in place to make sure that you don't drop the ball? Do you have follow-up set up that after an open house, everyone that comes in the open house, you have a mailer, you have a thank you note, you have a call, you have a text. Whatever it is that you do, there is a system to making sure that you're following up with those people in a way that keeps you in touch with them and keeps you top of mind. Do you have a follow-up system that after a listing appointment, you're going to systematically follow up with those folks? Do you have a system for expired listings where they're going to receive a series of emails, texts, phone calls, or even mailers from you that generates the opportunity for you to list some of these expired listings? Everything should be systemized, especially your follow-up. If you don't have a system in place for your follow-up, odds are you're going to miss opportunities. All of us have had those things where we talk to someone and 6 months later we see their house go on the market. And we're like, gosh, if I would have just stayed in touch with those folks. What's your system? When you develop that system and you develop the skill of having systematic follow-up, your business can't help but grow. The 6th skill to develop is storytelling. Are you at a place where you feel comfortable telling the story of homes that you're selling, or of listings you've taken, or transactions you've had? The person who can tell the most concise story that creates entertainment, or that creates emotion, or that has the ability to get some laughter, that person, I promise you, is going to get more opportunities in their business. It's so easy these days. You can literally get on YouTube, how to tell a story better, and you're going to get a ton of people that will teach you how to tell stories better. You can learn how to utilize energy when you speak, or use hand motions when you speak, or learn how to really adjust the tone of your voice to maybe you're talking a little lower, and then when you get to the point you really drive it home. Whatever it is for you, when you begin to understand how to tell a story and you begin to tell the story of your listings, of the transactions you've had, and of your business, all of a sudden you begin to attract more of the ideal client for you. Learn to storytell better, and I promise your business is going to grow. The 7th skill is the one that works no matter when or where you are. It's hard work. Nothing outdoes hard work. I promise you. What's the old saying? It says that hard work will outperform those with talent when talent doesn't work hard. I'll promise you, if you will work hard, everything else will take care of itself. What is it that you're doing? I just read a great book called The Power of One More. And what it really means is what would it mean if you just did a little bit more? What is it if you were just to make one extra call in a day? What is it if you were just to take the time to build one more relationship? I promise you, if you'll work harder in this market environment that's a little bit challenging, when everybody else is probably coasting or trying to figure out what to do, that hard work is going to stand out even more. It is a lever that gives you the ability that when this thing does get back to roaring again, and it will, that you'll be in a position to gain market share like you've never seen before. I hope this has been helpful, and I'll talk to you soon. Thanks for watching the video. I specifically chose the video below for you because it builds on the one you just watched. I hope it's helpful, and I'll talk to you soon.